5 everyday habits silently destroying your kidneys. Right now, your kidneys are working nonstop, straining against every sip and every bite you take. But here's the terrifying truth. Most people do not find out their kidneys are failing until they have already lost most of their function. By then, dialysis or transplant may be the only option left. The destruction does not come from rare diseases. It begins with daily habits. And the first danger hides in something as simple as eating red meat. Every single bite of food you put into your body has a story. Some foods give strength, healing, and life, while others silently strip away pieces of health. Red meat is one of those foods that many people love. It is juicy, filling, and comforting. For many families in the United States, it has been at the center of dinner plates for generations. But what if this everyday habit was quietly destroying the very organs that keep your blood clean? The truth is that eating too much red meat is one of the most damaging habits for the kidneys, and the scary part is that most people do not even realize it. Think about what kidneys do every single day. They function like natural filters, cleansing the blood of waste, balancing fluids, and regulating mineral levels. They filter around 50 gallons of blood daily. Now imagine throwing a constant heavy load at these filters, day after day, year after year. That is exactly what happens when a diet is packed with red meat. Protein is essential for health, but when it comes from excessive consumption of red meat, it leaves behind significant amounts of waste products. These waste products, such as nitrogen, force the kidneys to work harder. Over time, the strain begins to wear them down. Studies show that high-protein diets increase the risk of kidney disease by about 30% in adults who are already vulnerable. That means almost 1 in 3 people with kidney concerns can move closer to kidney failure simply by eating more protein than their kidneys can handle. This is not a small number. When you think about it, it is terrifying because most people with kidney problems are told to watch their protein intake. Yet red meat remains a staple in their meals. The story does not stop there. Red meat is also linked to high uric acid levels. Uric acid is a waste product that forms when the body breaks down certain substances found in meat. Excessive consumption leads to the formation of sharp, needle-like crystals in the joints, causing painful gout attacks. However, many people are unaware that uric acid also forms stones within the kidneys. These stones are not only excruciating but can also block urine flow, damage tissues, and trigger infections. Each time a kidney stone passes, the delicate filters inside the kidney are scratched, inflamed, and weakened. Over the years, this constant damage can leave the kidneys scarred for life. It is not just about biology, it is about lifestyle. In the United States, the average person consumes over 100 pounds of red meat annually. That is far more than what the body truly needs. Compared to the global average, Americans eat nearly twice as much. This cultural love for steaks, burgers, and roasts may feel harmless, but it adds up. Imagine pouring dirty water into a filter every day without ever giving it a break. Eventually, that filter clogs and fails. That is the same fate that awaits kidneys when red meat becomes the main source of protein. The sad truth is that the damage often goes unnoticed until it has advanced significantly. Kidneys are silent sufferers. They do not scream when they are overworked. They do not send sharp pains early on. By the time symptoms such as fatigue, swelling, or changes in urine appear, more than 80% of kidney function may already be lost. This is why small dietary choices matter so much. Every reduction in red meat, every shift to a gentler protein source, gives kidneys a chance to breathe. Science backs this up. Studies show that reducing red meat and replacing it with lean poultry, fish, or plant proteins, such as beans and lentils, lowers kidney stress markers by approximately 13 to 15%. That means kidneys actually heal and recover when the burden is lifted. Imagine the relief inside your body when the constant flood of waste products slows down and the filters finally get a break. This is not about giving up protein. Protein is vital for maintaining strength, building muscles, and promoting healing. It is about choosing the right kind of protein and the right amount. Lean chicken, turkey, or fish provides the body with what it needs without overwhelming the kidneys. Plant-based proteins provide fiber, vitamins, and protective compounds that help reduce inflammation and maintain healthier blood vessels. Even simple swaps, such as replacing one red meat meal per week with beans or lentils, can create a significant difference over time. But here's the most important question. How many people are willing to look at their plates and admit that their comfort food could be slowly pushing them toward dialysis? It is not an easy truth to face. Yet awareness is the first step. The choice made today determines the health lived tomorrow. Every bite is either a step toward healing or a step toward decline. And red meat is only the beginning. Another daily habit can be just as harmful, yet many people overlook it. It is something people do at work, at school, and even while traveling. It may seem harmless, but holding it in too often places the kidneys under enormous pressure. The next danger is the habit of holding in urine, and the truth behind it may shock you. Before we move on, I'd love to know where you're watching from. If you're working to naturally ease kidney problems, be sure to subscribe to Knowhow and turn on the notification bell. And if this content helps you, type 1 in the comments or 0 if it doesn't. I want to keep improving for you. Most people do not realize that a single simple habit could slowly poison the kidneys. Yet doctors warn that something as ordinary as holding urine can set off a chain reaction of damage inside the body. The truth is alarming. Research shows that women who experience repeated urinary tract infections have a 22% higher risk of developing chronic kidney disease later in life. That number is not small. It means nearly 1 out of every 4 women who ignore early bladder problems may face kidney damage that cannot be reversed. Why does this happen? When the bladder is kept full for too long, urine can become harmful. Pressure builds up inside, pressing against the bladder walls and pushing upward into the tubes that carry urine to the kidneys. Over time, this pressure forces urine to travel backward. That backward flow is not just uncomfortable, it stretches the delicate structures inside the kidneys, a condition doctors call hydronephrosis, where the organ swells as if it is being filled like a balloon. With every episode, kidney tissue loses a little more strength. Bacteria thrive in still urine. The longer it sits, the greater the chance of infection. What starts as a mild urinary tract infection can quickly progress to involve the kidneys. Once there, the infection becomes far more dangerous. Fevers, back pain, and serious illness can follow. Researchers at Johns Hopkins have found that individuals who regularly delay bathroom breaks are twice as likely to develop kidney infections. That means the simple act of holding it in does not just double discomfort, it doubles the chance of lasting kidney harm. Think about the routine of daily life. Students sit through long classes. Office workers stay in meetings that stretch for hours. Drivers keep moving because there is no rest stop in sight. Many people push their bodies past 3, 4, or even 5 hours without emptying their bladders. They convince themselves that it is normal and that nothing serious will happen. But the kidneys are not machines built to endure constant pressure. They are fragile filters, and every delay in relief adds to their burden. The scariest part is that the kidneys suffer in silence. They do not scream or send strong warning signals until the damage is advanced. That is why so many people are caught off guard. By the time symptoms appear, much of the function has already deteriorated. A person may only feel fatigue or notice slight swelling in their ankles, while in reality, their kidneys have already lost the ability to filter properly. This should raise an urgent question. How many times have you ignored the urge to urinate just because it was inconvenient? Each of those moments may have left behind a trace of damage that you will only see years later. Kidneys are not forgiving organs. They cannot regenerate once their tissues are scarred. They work tirelessly every day, but once they are forced past their limit, they break down. The solution is surprisingly simple. Respect the body's natural signals. Empty the bladder every 3 to 4 hours. Maintain a steady water intake throughout the day to keep the urine diluted and less irritating to tissues. Avoid long stretches without a bathroom break. These steps may seem small, but they can make a significant difference between having strong kidneys and a lifetime of illness. Imagine the freedom of knowing that such an easy change can protect something as vital as kidney function. No expensive treatment, no drastic diet shift, just the choice to listen when the body speaks. Relief does not only mean comfort, it means protecting the future of your kidneys. But holding urine is only one of the everyday choices that damage the kidneys without warning. There is another habit that millions of people fall into daily. It comes in the form of a pill, and most believe it is harmless. Yet the silent toll it takes can be even more destructive. The next danger is overusing painkillers, and the truth about how they injure the kidneys will leave you stunned. Over 30 million adults in the United States reach for painkillers every single day. Headaches, back pain, sore joints, or even minor fevers often prompt people to reach for a pill bottle. It feels harmless. After all, these pills are sold everywhere and used by millions. So how dangerous can they be? The reality is shocking. Painkillers, especially the group known as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, are among the top 3 causes of drug-related kidney damage in the country. Behind the relief they bring lies a price that many people never see until it is far too late. The kidneys are designed to filter blood and remove waste. Still, they require a steady blood flow to perform their function effectively. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs block the natural chemicals that keep those blood vessels open. Without those chemicals, the vessels shrink and blood flow slows. Less blood reaching the kidneys means less oxygen for their tissues. Over time, this slow suffocation weakens the kidneys and leaves scars that cannot heal. It only takes a moment to swallow a pill, but that moment can leave behind years of harm. Studies reveal that as many as 5% of new chronic kidney disease cases each year are directly caused by the overuse of painkillers. Think about that number. Out of every 100 new patients with kidney disease, 5 of them might not have developed it at all if they had not leaned so heavily on these drugs. That is thousands of lives altered every year by something that began with the hope of simple relief. What makes this even more concerning is how common the habit has become. Many Americans take painkillers daily for arthritis, back pain, or constant headaches. They often do it without a second thought, believing that if the pain fades, the problem is solved. But the problem is not solved. It is simply traded. Each dose hides discomfort while quietly stealing kidney strength. The danger is not always immediate. Initially, the body may appear normal. However, as weeks turn into months and months into years, the damage accumulates. Kidneys do not typically exhibit symptoms loudly in the early stages. Instead, the decline is silent, almost invisible. By the time fatigue, swelling, or changes in urination appear, the damage is already advanced. Dialysis or transplant may be the only options left. There is hope, though. Studies show that cutting back on non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug use can reduce the risk of kidney injury by 38% within just 1 year. That means the kidneys are not helpless. If the strain is removed, they can recover strength and continue serving the body for many years. The choice lies in being aware and taking action. This raises a pressing question. How often do you take a pill for minor aches that could fade with rest or gentle care? How often do you see medication as the first choice instead of the last? Every time you decide to take a pill without real need, you may be trading a moment of comfort for a future filled with hospital visits and painful treatments. There are safer paths. Acetaminophen, when taken in limited doses and with proper caution, is less harsh on the kidneys. Non-drug strategies, such as physical therapy, heat packs, stretching, or lifestyle changes, can relieve pain without placing the kidneys at risk. Even small changes, like improving posture at work or strengthening muscles around sore joints, can reduce the need for daily medication. These steps may take effort, but they protect the very organs that keep your blood clean and your body alive. Yet painkillers are not the only everyday threat. Another hidden danger sits quietly in almost every American kitchen. It is sprinkled on food, stirred into recipes, and eaten far more than most realize. The next silent destroyer is excessive use of salt, and its impact on kidney health is equally alarming. If you're finding this helpful so far, please take a second to like this video. It may seem small, but it tells YouTube that this message matters and helps Knowhow reach more people who truly need it. If you believe others deserve this knowledge too, tap that thumbs up now. A steaming bowl of soup, a handful of chips, or a quick bite of fast food after a long day all taste so comforting. But hidden inside these meals is a quiet threat that most people never notice. Salt. It is the ingredient that makes food delicious. Yet it is also one of the most dangerous for kidney health. Nearly 90% of Americans eat far more sodium than their bodies can safely handle. On average, the daily intake rises to 3,400 milligrams, when the safe limit should be no more than 2,300 milligrams. That extra 1,000 milligrams may not seem like much, but for your kidneys, it is the difference between smooth functioning and constant struggle. Salt has a powerful hold on the body. When too much is consumed, the blood thickens with excess sodium. To manage it, the body holds on to extra water. That extra water increases the total volume of blood rushing through vessels. With every heartbeat, the pressure inside the arteries increases steadily. Kidneys are especially vulnerable to this pressure because they are packed with tiny blood vessels that filter waste every second of the day. When those vessels face constant high pressure, they stiffen and harden, losing their ability to filter. Over time, this leads to scarring, and once kidney tissue is scarred, it cannot heal. The numbers show just how dangerous this habit is. People who eat high-salt diets face a 32% higher risk of kidney failure compared to those who keep sodium levels under control. That is almost 1 in 3, a staggering risk for something as simple as adding too much salt to food. The truth is, most people are unaware of how much salt they consume. The biggest sources are not the salt shakers on dinner tables. The real culprits are processed foods, chips, canned soups, frozen meals, and fast food. These are loaded with sodium, often more than double or triple the recommended amount in just one serving. The damage does not show up right away. A salty snack today will not make you feel ill tomorrow. But slowly, year after year, the kidneys weaken under the load. The blood vessels inside them lose flexibility, the filters clog, and waste begins to accumulate in the bloodstream. This silent process progresses without obvious symptoms until kidney function is reduced to a fraction of its original capacity. That is when swelling in the legs, constant fatigue, or changes in urination begin to appear. By then, the damage is already deep. But there is hope. Evidence shows that limiting sodium to less than 2,300 milligrams per day can slow the progression of chronic kidney disease by 20 to 25%. Imagine giving your kidneys a quarter more years of life just by choosing wisely at the table. It is a powerful reminder that health is shaped not only by big treatments, but also by small, daily choices. This raises an important question. What simple steps can protect your kidneys from salt overload? The answers are practical. Fresh foods contain far less sodium than packaged meals, so filling your plate with fruits, vegetables, and home-cooked options makes an immediate difference. Using herbs, garlic, lemon juice, or spices to flavor meals instead of salt not only protects the kidneys, but also adds richness to food. Reading labels before buying packaged goods is another life-saving habit. Many cans and boxes carry sodium levels that reach half a day's limit in a single serving. Awareness is the shield that protects the kidneys. Salt is not the only danger that hides in plain sight. There is another threat that damages kidneys even more aggressively, yet most people brush it off as just a common problem. This danger is high blood pressure, and ignoring it can push your kidneys toward failure much faster than you realize. A man in his 40s went to his doctor for a routine checkup. He felt fine, just a little tired after long work days. The doctor wrapped the cuff around his arm and frowned. His blood pressure was dangerously high. Shocked, the man asked, "How could this be?" "I feel normal." That story is not rare. It is happening every day across the United States. High blood pressure is often referred to as the silent killer for a reason. It gives no warning signs until it has already left a trail of damage, and the kidneys are often among its first victims. High blood pressure is the second leading cause of kidney failure in the United States, right after diabetes. The numbers paint a grim picture. Nearly 1 in 2 adults lives with high blood pressure, yet only about 1 in 4 has it under control. That means millions of people walk around every day with a condition that could be quietly destroying their kidneys, and most do not even know it. The kidneys depend on delicate filters called glomeruli. These filters are surrounded by tiny blood vessels that carry waste out of the body. However, when the pressure in those vessels remains high all the time, they begin to weaken. Imagine water rushing through a thin straw with constant force. The walls eventually crack and lose their ability to hold. The same happens inside the kidneys. The filters scar, harden, and lose their function. Waste products build up in the blood, while kidney strength fades away year by year. The speed of this decline is alarming. Uncontrolled high blood pressure can accelerate kidney failure by 7 to 10 years. Think about what that means. A person who might have lived with healthy kidneys into old age may suddenly face dialysis or transplant before retirement. That is not just a statistic. It is years of life, freedom, and comfort stolen away by something that could have been controlled. What makes high blood pressure even more dangerous is its often silent nature. Most people do not experience headaches, dizziness, or other symptoms until the condition has progressed. By then, the kidneys may already be scarred. That silence makes regular checks crucial. Ignoring blood pressure because you feel fine is like ignoring a fire alarm because you do not see smoke yet. The fire is still spreading. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that controlling blood pressure can reduce the risk of kidney disease by 44%. That is nearly half the risk, which can be significantly reduced by paying attention and acting promptly. Blood pressure can be monitored at home with simple devices. Diets rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and low in salt, such as the DASH diet, make a powerful difference. And when doctors prescribe medication, following the plan is not a weakness, it is a life-saving step. And now the question remains, have you learned about the 5 habits silently destroying your kidneys? If this video was helpful, please don't leave without subscribing to Knowhow. And if you feel like I truly understood your struggle and offered a solution that matters, type the word relief in the comments. I'd love to know if this helped you.